Boing, 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 boing.
Our opening song is called Wonderful Promise Time. It's by Stephen Cogswell. Get it at awtfy.com. That's awtfy.com/wonderful.
So what's your favorite Christmas song?
Just for how everybody loses their fucking goddamn mind over it.
But here tonight, this is the thing. Kinda hungry. Some onion rings. Simply going bowling tonight. But Paul, we need a Christmas ditty. No problem.
I sit down at the Outback. I order a steak. The bloomin' onion. It looks really great.
Come on.
Simply cashing in all of my goodwill.
This conversation seems really inefficient.
We didn't promise shit, you fucking vulture.
Wait, no
promises. We are online.
We're hanging out.
We're not making promises. For these fucking people.
Simply not making any promises.
Why are you like this?
Simply hanging out and not making promises.
It's manner.
Okay, all right.
I just want to point out that there's no fucking promise. I mean, you're trying to say I made a fucking promise, right? You got a fucking problem here? You got a promise here? Huh?
It's Tuesday night, and we make this promise from the bottom of our hearts. No promises. Hello, beautiful people. It's Brian, live in Austin, Texas, for Night Attack, bringing you the best of the worst of the internet ever since forever. Joining me, as always, is my BFF and OAK. It's JRY. Merry Christmas, Justin. Oh, I know you hate Christmas. All you lefty liberals with your war on Christmas.
Yeah, and we would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for your meddling Jesus Christ.
Hey man, dude, are you fired up for Christmas?
Man, I love Christmas. I'm a gigantic Christmas softie. There's a reason why I always push to have a big old Christmas episode every year, because that is, to me, the sign that you have a real show. But real shows have a Christmas episode every year. It's just a thing. I love it. I love this episode. And man, I dare say that this is going to be the most freewheeling episode of this Night Attack NSFW BB Live Show Christmas episode we have ever done. We have not one, but two live guests that are going to come and visit us on this episode.
Man, we're going to be like the crazy great-grand uncle who had one too many eggnogs and halfway through a delusional fever dream telling you about the time that he punched Hitler in the nostril. Do you just want to dive in? Because we have something very special. Longtime viewers of all incarnations of this show will remember that, man, all the way back. Some people say that the elf looks like one of my kids, but I don't see the resemblance.
I don't think so either. No, folks, long-time Night Attack NSFW fans will remember that we are always visited Christmas time by Snores the Jaded Elf. You know,
Snores the Jaded Elf. Everybody make noise for Snores the Jaded Elf. She's bigger than I remember her. Hi, Snores. How are you? Okay, that's good radio. Listen, Snores, you were always fairly remarkable in telling it like it really was. How long have you been working at Santa's Workshop now?
like a number of years, maybe,
or centuries. Like I don't know what the lifespan of elves are.
Yeah, like how old are you? So, all right. Oh, do you need a hug, Snores? So I challenged Penny. I said that her one job was to try to not break character, and I think I made it too real for her. You're allowed to break character and roll with it. You were doing a really good job of holding it together.
I can't think of anything to say.
So this is as you remember, in the intro days, Santa had everyone take improv workshop training, where the first words you always say are yes and. Although that's weird when somebody asks how old you are.
Yeah, no, that was probably a bad intro for us. So here's another thing that you should learn, Snores, is that sometimes your comedy partners aren't the best. And you just need to roll with the punches because your comedy partners aren't there for you. So let's start off with something that we can be a better intro. Snores, what would be something, or sorry, do you enjoy working in the North Pole?
Do you enjoy slavery?
That's what it looks like when you go from 0 to 1,000. Well,
I mean, historically, well, all right, let's not get into that. We don't want to get banned from Patreon.
Hey-oh, topical. So it sounds like not everybody is as jolly, because I remember seeing all the Christmas specials. It seems like everybody's happy. How is it that we see everybody looking happy if you're saying they're not good working conditions?
Those are actors. They think they let cameras into the real workshop.
Oh, holy cow.
Hold on. Are you telling me that there's an entire secret workshop where no cameras are allowed to be its top secret and an unimaginable cruelty goes on?
Are you really that surprised?
Well, I guess now that I think about it, really the North Pole's prices can't be beat. I mean, how do you top free? So
yeah, I mean, look, I guess really when you extrapolate the idea that we can get an iPhone for such an amazing price point, that free items would have to be even cheaper. Wait, hold on. How long has this been going on, Snowers?
Well, we outsourced to China a couple decades ago.
Wait a minute, so you guys aren't even producing at the North Pole anymore?
No, that's just where we ship from.
Oh, so the fulfillment center is in the North Pole. Okay. Well, so now, how is the branding for North Pole LLC doing? Like, are you guys happy with your worldwide prominence?
Well, the executives are.
Oh, I didn't even know. Now, are they?
All right. Well, you want to know what? The common elf has been silenced for far too long. It is about time that we got your message out. Snowers, if you wanted the world to know one thing about your plight, what would it be?
What's funny? But I believe Snower's PR agent is over in the wings right now, quite literally mouthing the words, "Help us." That's the message. Help us. Wait, speaking of which, what is the best thing that we could do to help elves all over the North Pole?
Well, getting paid would help.
So you just give a.
Oh my Lord! Hold on. You're telling me that all the effort and all the time that goes into making every single present that will be delivered on Christmas Day is done with unpaid, non-union labor?
We were just talking about how the presents were free.
Okay, all right, now look, I don't want to. Let me play devil's advocate, or as I'm sure Santa calls it, corporate America. It looks to me like you've gotten some kind of compensation. I mean, you got this rad outfit. It sounds like he feeds and clothes you. That's pretty great, right?
This is the only outfit we get.
That's all you get to wear?
You get one outfit, and you have to live in it all year round?
So, and speaking of which, if you guys weren't working for Santa, what do elves normally do? What else would you guys be doing?
There's a lot of gambling that goes on.
Gambling. What would you say, Snowers? Are you up or down for the year? Like, I guess we're about to come up to the end of the year, and all the gambling. Do you say that you're up money, or have you made money, or have you lost money?
Also, what do you use as money?
Stolen candy.
Stolen candy. Okay. And so, are you up or down for the year? Is it a good year for Snowers?
Snowers is thinking.
I think this year, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So,
up. Wow.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
It
wait,
just-
hold on. Could you just do me a favor? Imagine, bring us in here, because again, we've never experienced anything about this elf culture. If you were you were around a table, I assume you guys are playing poker or blackjack or something. If you were to just show us your face, your poker face, in the middle of a big hand. There's a lot of candy in the middle of the table. This is a really big moment. You got to make sure that you strike fear in everybody else that's around the table. Can you show us that face that you'd make? Oh my God, a big, gigantic, wide, 40,000 watt smile from Snores the Jaded Elf. Man, the topsy-turvy world of the North Pole, Brian, I had no idea.
I'll tell you what, man. It's like an onion. That's what Santa always said. He says, "My castle's like an onion. You'll never make it inside, coppers."
Snowers, is that something that Santa really says?
Yeah. What's he like behind the scene when the cameras aren't on? Is it true that the cameras add 20 more pounds?
No.
No.
In fact, they take away roughly 500.
Oh, so he's a bigger guy than he even presents.
So he's a big, fatty guy.
He's mostly just really tall and muscly.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
So
it's 500 pounds of muscle. he is just a gigantic hulk of a man.
So what's his workout regimen? Okay. I'm asking for the interested audience at home.
Yeah, is Santa busting PRs on the reg?
Yeah, like what's his workout routine? Surely you see him, right?
Doesn't often come down to the workout or the workshop if he can avoid it, but I think it has a lot to do with whipping the reindeer.
Oh, so you're just saying.
Wow. So wait, hold on. Wait, no. What, whipping the reindeer? You're telling me that Santa is brutalizing all these famous reindeer that we have heard about for years and years?
I don't think they last years and years.
Oh my God! What a scandal that we've broken loose right here on the Night Attack program. Okay, Snowers, I'm going to ask you a very specific question, and I need you to answer it in a yes or no fashion because this might be used for a future legal case. Have you ever seen, or has anyone you've ever known seen, Santa Claus punch a reindeer to death?
Officially, no.
But unofficially.
Well, you said it was going to be used for a legal case, so I'm going to say no again.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Brian, it looks like Snowers is lawyered up.
Yeah. In fact, I'm afraid that might be all the truth bombs we're able to get out of Snowers. Snowers, do you have anything to plug? Yeah. You got any big projects?
I just like to request that you all ask for money for Christmas. That's the easiest to forge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Snores the Jaded Elf. Let's get a big round of applause.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Fun. Right.
Oh boy! Playing with fire. Playing with fire on that one. That was amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever enjoyed this show, then please understand that one was riding the razor's edge on a lot of different levels.
Hey man, yeah. You want to tell people how we can support the show while I get stuff loaded here?
Yes, folks, because right here on this program where you hear hard-hitting, late-breaking, earth-shattering reports. And by the way, I just want to point out, at the other end of this plug and everything else that we're going to do, we're going to talk to the man that has just been accused of possibly punching a reindeer to death. Santa Claus himself will be on this program. But first, a word from our sponsors, you. Patreon.com/Night Attack is where you can support this show. It is where you can not only make sure that programs like this continue to happen each and every Tuesday night, but you can also make it a little bit present to yourself. We got some stuff coming to you in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, no. Yeah, we don't have to play coy no more. I'm calling it. This is a Squarespace.com change of plans.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you are doing a Squarespace.com change of plans?
That's right. I'm going off book, off script, and I'm going to tell the whole day. You've been trying to stifle and silence me for too long, and I'm going to say it.
No, Brian, don't. No.
We made a comedy album, and it's coming out in January. And guess what? We're sending out rough cuts to all of the new patrons and also existing patrons who head on over to patreon.com/Night Attack and join the ranks of the proud. Dude, guys, this thing blows past. It's about an hour long, and it flies. It is fun and funny, the perfect mix of music. Guess what? It's not even supporting us. It's all about Stephen Cogswell, your friend of mine, because he's so great, shows up week after week for 3 years doing amazing songs, and he deserves the #1 comedy album.
We actually have to record an episode that will air on Christmas, and I feel like that episode is going to be us talking all about why we did the album, why we wanted to do the album, the songs we chose for the album. It will be us talking about that entire process and telling you when, the day that you'll be able to buy it. But yes, this is happening. We built our entire Patreon around getting early access to albums and then stopped doing albums. But congratulations, folks. We're now doing it. It is done. Well, like I said, I told DeBryce, we have a Dropbox folder that is labeled final, which anyone who's ever worked in the creative arts will know is yet to receive the final for real tag. But to be totally honest, this is something that we've actually gone back and forth a lot. A lot of hands have touched it coming up to where we are now. I think we're 99% happy with it, and we will have more information next week. But know this, the Cogswell album, including new unreleased Night Attack tracks, our first album since Night Attack 3 several years ago, is coming out in January. We will start 2019 the right way. The best album of 2019 comes out not but a few weeks from New Year's Eve next year.
Hells yes. And don't forget, it's our patrons who get it early. So head on over to patreon.com/Night Attack. And of course, if you are a new subscriber or pledger or raise your pledge, then you get a chance to randomly be selected for a little thing that we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour. An hour of it.
Oh, man. There's one thing I love even more than new subscribers, new patrons. It's people who double their pledges. They double up. It's time to double up. And that's what guess who? A little bit new best friend of ours named Jenny Colby just did.
Jenny Colby.
Oh, I've always wanted to hear a horse say my name. It's me, Jenny Colby. Are you really a talking horse? I've always wanted a horse doing an impression of Richard Nixon to say my name. Are you a horse doing an impression of Richard Nixon? Oh, I've always wanted a horse who was doing an impression of Richard Nixon and clearly having a medical emergency to be trying to say my name. Are you having a stroke, horse that's doing an impression?
I am not a crook. Please take the information from my bracelet.
Okay. Are you tingly all on your left side? Should I call 911?
On a scale from yay to nay, I'd say nay.
Thank you so much, Jenny Colby. You're a hero and a champion. Of course, another thing we like to do is we're live here on Twitch. We do a little thing where we have people compete to be the bit boss. Right now, leading the pack is DJ_Fission with 345. Yeah, with 345 bits. And this is the 1 minute we dedicate to shouting out full Twitch style.
Now listen, Depot Devoid and Spin-12 walk into a bar, Brian. This is an old vaudeville joke.
Oh, yeah.
And the bartender they order the bad weave.
Yeah, and the bartender says, like, bad weave? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that drink. Could you explain it to me? How do I make it?
Well, and then they say, well, it's basically a dark hydrant, but then you add a little bit of a bio cow on top.
So he turns around and the bartender starts jerking off a cow, and he says, what do I do with this Crimson Zamboni?
And then he says, well, I'm not a gambling man, but if I were, I'd say that you might be on the wrong side of town.
Oh, man, you're dropping truth bombs. You're shining the light that's getting me all sunburned. It's sunburned, yeah. Your man Jeff 1 once told me, cheer 410 times.
Like the rosary?
Yes.
Apparently, Penny used all the improv in the family tonight.
She soaked it out. Oh, goddamn, man. That was a...
Thank you, J King 206. Folks, we are seeing insane generosity. Your man Jeff has already taken over for the Bit Boss. We will shout out the final winner at the end of this Christmas stream. But holy shit. Brian.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to tell you this. One more plug for the patrons. There's a lot to unpack that's already gone on, but this show is on a fucking bullet train considering who we have coming up. You're going to want to listen to the after show. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, quick reminder, of course, patrons, they get the pre-show, the after show. Oftentimes, some of our favorite things happen before or after the show, not because we want to hide the best parts from you, but because we get a little bit more experimental. Sometimes it pays off, oftentimes not.
Today, it'll pay off.
Hey, Bond, could you turn on that fan? And I think we're trying to get our special guest we're on the line.
We're still trying to arrange the satellite. You know, it's not easy contacting the North Pole.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's got that shoddy, unqualified, I don't want to say the S word labor, but man, elves seemed...
Well, apparently also, this was the real big bombshell in that Snores interview, was that he's apparently manufacturing his own money.
He's counterfeiting
a gigantic illegal money printing operation, which he's paying to China.
That's right. It's so we're getting all the satellites up in order, and I think if we get it just right, we might. Is that who I think it is? Is that Mr. Santa Claus?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Kris Kringle himself, Santa Claus, joining us live.
Oh, please get a big round of applause
from
Santa
the North
Claus
Pole.
has arrived yet again.
Hello.
Santa.
Hello.
Santa, thank you so very much for joining us. I don't suppose, I'm hoping you didn't watch the beginning of the show, did you?
I never watched this show.
Sounds about right.
Thank goodness.
Might I say that your beard looks luxurious? Well, listen, we got to start with the news here. Number one, we had a very jaded elf on before you came on that made a lot of allegations saying that you run an illegal money printing operation out of the North Pole and that you may have once punched a reindeer to death.
It's quite possible. The whole North Pole has gone to shit.
Oh no!
You understand? The whole lot. I've been building this operation for centuries. It's all changed. Never be the same. May cease to exist. It's this whole Me Too business.
Oh no!
My God.
Me Too has finally come
Run around the
knocking.
North Pole faster than Ebola virus that ripped through here last spring. Took out about a third of the elves.
So,
Oh, really?
Were running around with their eyes and their assholes spewing blood. Oh.
So first, one thing it's the Ebola virus, and then it's Me Too. Give us some good news. What is going well up in the North Pole?
Not much. No, it's terrible up here. The global warming, everyone's dying off. The polar bears are all fucked. The red Chinese are taking all my business.
Well, now, again, I don't want to talk out of school, but a certain elf told us that you were doing a lot of outsourcing to the Chinese. Are you denying those allegations?
No. No. You gotta understand, my elves are a bunch of fucking nitwits. All they can do is make like wooden tractors and sets of blocks and jack in the boxes. And these fuckers in Japan and China, they're making electronics, soldering shit. They know how to make pictures come up on screen. It's amazing. My elves are like, doo, 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 with their little toy hammers. They're useless.
Well, Santa, I'll tell you what, all year round, we've been asking for our listeners and our viewers to write in letters to you. This is really the pinnacle of our year here on Night Attack. So I'm going to turn it over to Bryce, who has been collating them. Bryce, do we have some letters for Santa?
Yeah, we've got some letters from all the good little boys and girls out there in the chat realm. Let's answer this question from Juan. Juan says, "Hey, Father Christmas, what's the best treat to leave for you this year? I heard this Mrs. is cutting you back on cookies. Are you more a tequila or vodka guy? See you soon, Juan."
First of all, Juan, don't call me Father Christmas. I've got enough problems with the accusations without people thinking I'm a priest.
Well, so it's not true that you were Sinterklaas, that you were the original Father Christmas.
I don't remember that.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I may have been. I think I'm probably the father of a lot of things.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean, some might say you're
I guess yeah, you were doing more. The mommy was doing more than kissing Santa Claus.
Listen, the elves, they're all accusing me of things. The reindeer, they say I've been forcing reindeer games upon them. Even the toys.
Toys?
You don't know how humiliating the talking ones. It's humiliating when a talking Steve Urkel doll accuses you of impropriety.
Oh, that's what you mean by. Oh my goodness.
People want a Steve Urkel doll?
Apparently they got the reruns on now.
That makes sense.
Right. It's being revived with streaming and over the top.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
possible that Jaleel White's buying all.
Wow, Santa, I mean, before we get to the next question here, it really seems like you're besieged by a lot of accusations. You seem more defensive than you normally do.
Yeah. Of course, everyone's saying Me Too. Dancer, Prancer, all of them. I mean, I'm the only man up here at the North Pole. I'm the only guy in any position of power. What do you fucking expect?
Oh, gee.
Oh, goodness.
Bryce, let's go to the next question.
All right, we've got a question here from M writes, Santa, for Christmas, I was going to ask you to give my soon-to-be ex-wife a bunch of social diseases for breaking my heart and for cheating on me multiple times, but she apparently couldn't wait, so she went out and got them on her own. So please just spare my daughter and I from ever having to hear from her again. Thank you.
God, thanks for ruining Christmas for me. Well, I say fuck that bitch. Go get yourself a lawyer, a therapist, and a hot date, and scrub that stain out of your life. Next letter.
Next letter. All right.
Okay, there we go. We got it solid. All right, this one comes from Dave. Dave writes, Dear Santa, will you be handing out more weed this year? It seems some folk could use it. Thank you for rocking that beard.
Hey, what the fuck? I'm Santa, not Rasta.
Wait, is Rasta Claus like a competing clause? Are there different clauses?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh wow, yeah. No. Yeah, we
were everything. There's Rasta Claus, there's Frosty the Pimp. Everyone's trying to get in on the game.
No, I mean, listen, not that anybody would want to do it. We're not trying to create competition for you, but if people write letters to Santa, if someone were to communicate with Frosty the Pimp, how would that work?
They'd probably get slapped.
So if you just walk by a snowman and get slapped in the face, then you know you've interacted with Frosty the Pimp.
Don't talk to Frosty.
Now, do you run into the other clauses at any kind of like conventions or social gatherings? Are there any kind of like administrative meetings that you all have to bump into each other?
Fuck that shit. Everyone wants to be a Santa Claus now. Listen, I just got back from Party City. You can't buy a Santa outfit anywhere near San Francisco thanks to SantaCon.
Oh, I was gonna ask. Do you ever sneak into SantaCon and just see what all the fakers look like?
I hate those fuckers. Let's talk about an amateur hour. Going from bar to bar, stumbling drunk, throwing chairs through windows in the Indian restaurant. Unbelievable.
So, not a lot of respect for people aspiring to be little. Do you worry about them trying to sneak up from behind and take your job?
How would you feel if there was 1,000 people running around the city trying to be Brian Brushwood?
That's pretty terrifying.
He would love the idea of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, are you trying to get him diamond hard for Christmas? Because this succeeded.
So, next letter.
We've got a letter here from Pistachio Pete, who has a question about some of the logistics of your famous yearly delivery. He writes, Hi, Santa. I wanted to know if you ever got the runs in the middle of delivering gifts to all the people in the world. Did it make the night rough? Your pal, Pistachio Pete.
Well, you should ask. I have the runs right now.
Oh, no!
And yes, Pistachio Pete, I look forward to the diarrhea every year because Mrs. Claus, she cooks up 30, 40 yards of the Polska kielbasa for me and the reindeers to eat. And when I fly over your house, Piccolo Pistachio Pete, I hang my fat white ass outside the sled and I unload your Christmas gift right down your Santa shit encrusted chimney. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho!
Oh my goodness!
I don't think that's real.
No, that's where the saying. Where do you think the saying "Don't eat the brown snow" comes from? It's an old legend.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well.
Pistachio, yeah.
Piccolo Pistachio Pete.
Pumpernickel Pete.
Pumpernickel Pete.
All right, we've got.
By the way, I just want to point out here, we are being streamed live here. Lotus Assassin in the chat says, "For fuck's sake, Santa's going off." So I'm glad that we have a new viewer here.
I'm glad. Of course, we're on Twitch, and I understand a lot of good little girls and boys watch Twitch for the Fortnite and all that. Hopefully, they're discovering the more about their hero Santa Claus.
People actually watching this?
I mean,
history has not proven that out yet.
Next letter.
Okay, all right. We've got a letter here from, I think this is Nick Howe. Santa, what does Santa want for Christmas? And is Santa worried about losing work due to self-driving sleighs? Automation's coming, Santa.
Are you ready?
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that Elon Musk can do it.
Oh, wow. Do you have actually, I'll tell you, this is going to be real breaking news because anytime that guy's name is mentioned in a headline, it really gets clicks. Can you tell us exclusively what Elon Musk is getting for Christmas from Santa?
No. I haven't any idea.
It's called Santa Client Privilege, Justin. Look it up.
That's a fair point. Wow, it looks like you have a very elastic mouth.
It almost looks brand new, Santa.
It is brand new, and I'm going to take it back to Party City.
How about we go to the next letter?
Right. Be careful with your drinks. They may not let you return stained beards. This is a question from...
the red wine. Oh, Jesus.
I've never...
Spilling red wine.
Oh, my goodness.
Dripping into his white beard.
Sloppy.
Here's your Santa costume that you charged me $40 fucking for.
$40? Goodness.
Oh, my God. Santa's going
But
off the rails.
Surely you were able to pay them in Christmas cheer or maybe some wooden blocks or little choo-choo trains or something, huh?
No.
Okay.
I paid him with a maxed out credit card.
Oh, my goodness. All right. We've got a question here. This just says, stop being a pussy and do a TWIF reunion special. I don't exactly know what TWI. Brian, do you know?
Maybe you know the good little girl or boy who wrote this. It says it's from Sarah Lane.
This might be Lanae.
Oh yeah. TWIF. Yes. I would say that's a fake letter.
That's a fake letter. You don't think that Sarah Lane really wrote that to Santa?
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Sarah doesn't like that word. The word. And I'll not only do a TWIF reunion special, I'll start doing the show every fucking week.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow, Santa!
Fake Sarah.
Oh.
No, number one, that's a shocking statement because Martin Sargent was the co-host of This Week in Claus.
Not anymore.
So
Now
Santa would be taking over.
Santa.
Have you ever seen that guy? He's a fucking hack. Every show it gets done gets canceled.
Oh man! Well, so Santa, can you give a present to all of our listeners and viewers and give us a hint as to when you and not Martin Sargent will be joining Sarah Lane?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to her first.
I just need. All right, look. I'm going to break the fourth wall for a second. I just need everybody who's listening on audio to understand that for every syllable that is said by Santa, a gigantic, comically large red wine drip goes from his mustache to his ear.
And he's still drinking.
He drinks from a tumbler of wine.
Oh my goodness. All right, we've got a letter here. We got a little bit of a letter here. This is from Big Jim, Diamond Club regular Big Jim. He writes, "Hi Santa. First, I want to do something these other schmucks don't often do, and that's say thank you. I know all you hear all season is me, me, me. I want this, I want that. Santa, you put up with enough crap just trying to make people smile, so thank you. Thank you for putting up with the snot-nosed kids, the whining parents, the magicians who can't stop looking at their online store sales numbers. Thank you, Santa, for being someone we can rely on year after year. P.S. If at all possible, could you do me a solid and just give me one good impromptu Santa limerick or poem to tuck me in tonight? Diamond Club with love, Big Jim."
Oh, well, look at Big Jim trying to sweet talk his way on the nice list. But I know what you did, Big Jim, and I know who you did it to, and I know what you did it with. So, you want a limerick, huh? There once was a suck-up named Big Jim.
How are you going to rhyme Big Jim 3 times?
Whose tummy was feeling quite grim.
Okay, all right.
As he pulled out his rump and took a big dump, he said, Santa, please bring me some Charmin.
Oh, that's great!
It works. It works.
With a limerick.
I'm a 1,700-year-old man. What do you want?
No, you're doing great, Santa. Great as always.
Great.
The reviews are in. 10 out of 10, Santy.
All right, we've got here we go. We've got another one here. This is from E. Aster Bunny. He writes, Yo, Nick, are we still on for Vegas in March? I hear St. Pat is bringing the good stuff this year. Also, make sure to text me the address for Justin's maids. I think they will probably need a few extra jelly beans this year. Peace out. That's E. Aster Bunny.
What the fuck? The only bunny I ever went to Vegas with was that hooker from the Bunny Ranch.
So she was at...
I'll never do it again.
Was she the titular bunny of the bunny ranch? Like they named the bunny ranch after her?
Oh, she was titular, all right.
Yeah. No,
there was the passing of the owner of the Bunny Ranch, Dennis Hoff, who was later elected. Was he on the naughty or the nice list?
Dennis Hoff is a very naughty man.
Hey, Justin, there was a reference to jelly beans that I didn't catch. Is that something?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that about?
For the expedition of this bit, we don't need to go into the fact that at some point I said that cleaners come to my apartment and now people keep harassing me that I have maids. So we can just move on.
Okay. All right.
I think jelly beans are maybe an Easter time gift.
Okay. Got it.
I
All
think
right.
that might be part of it. All right, we've got a letter here from Thomas. Thomas writes, Hi, Santa. I hope you're doing well. I was wondering where you lie on the whole Die Hard is a Christmas movie thing.
Good one.
Of course Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a movie that takes place at Christmas, therefore Die Hard is a Christmas movie. End of discussion.
Wait, now by that logic, does that make Love Actually a Christmas movie?
You think I've watched Love Actually?
I mean, but does that make Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie?
Did that take place? I haven't seen Lethal Weapon since...
Famously, all the Shane Black scripts take place during Christmas. He loves Christmas.
Yeah,
so
like Predator,
little
Lethal
Weapon
fact.
2 and...
Yes, yeah. Am I sensing that you might take the other side of this argument?
No. I'm just asking an expert, Santa. Hey, whoa. No static here, homie.
The more movies that get called Christmas movies, the more residuals I get.
Okay, so
okay.
Obviously, Gremlins, a definite Christmas movie, then, right?
Christmas movie, absolutely.
What did you think about that weird side jag where they told a story about a chick's dad dying in the chimney and the body getting wedged in there in the middle
Spoiler
of Gremlins?
You have no idea how often that happens.
Oh, jeez.
But not to Santa.
I've gone and just got stuck halfway down because there's this fat corpse in it.
Oh, man. Okay, we got another
goodness.
letter?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think, Bryce, how many more of these we got? Can we do a little rapid fire here?
Okay, yeah, let's do some rapid fire. All right, this is from Captain Jack 913. Captain Jack says, what type of liquor should I be leaving out for you on Christmas Eve?
All of it. Next letter.
All of it? Okay. This is from Ted. Ted asks, is Mrs. Claus drunk?
Yes, often. Next letter.
Okay. This is from The Real Santa Claus, and it just says, I approve.
Fake letter.
A fake letter? All right. Someone
As fake as Sarah Lane writing pussy.
Indeed.
All right. Two more here. Flavor Toothpaste says, what the fuck, man? End of letter. That's pretty mean, Flavor Toothpaste.
Yeah. I don't think he's speechless and possibly.
Santa and his red-stained mouth area are gobsmacked.
I'm just trying to like think what flavor toothpaste is.
He could be cinnamon. He could be spearmint. He could be
That's bubblegum.
bubblegum.
He could be Crest diarrhea semen swizzle with peroxide.
Not a popular one, but it's still on the shelves. So, guess we'll have to see.
Someone's got to be buying it.
All right, we got one more here. This is from your friend of mine, Stephen Cogswell. Yo, Santa, I don't want anything. I just want to give you a big thanks for the incredible amount of work you do year after year for the Night Attack program, and I appreciate all the effort you do to make your appearances the best. Also, give me a lot of cash. Thanks.
You're right, Steve. I do an incredible amount of work every year after year for the Night Attack program. And yes, I put forth a lot of effort to make my appearances the best. So instead of giving you a lot of cash, how about telling Brian and the little fella to put something in Santa's stocking for Uncle Jesse, Christ's sake?
Oh man, I'm so Santa. It appears we're breaking up. I get that darn tenuous signal.
Satellites and everything. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Santa.
Never again.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you, Santa. I believe in you.
We love you.
I'm sending you the receipt for this costume, fucker.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Santa.
Have your elves talk to our elves. Bye.
Exactly. Stop being a pussy and do this making fun again.
Oh, hot damn, man. That's Santa Claus. What a treat. Best in the world.
Christmas time comes but once a year, and man, it is not Christmas until Santa shows up on the Night Attack program. That is for sure.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing he doesn't watch the show, because then he didn't see that bombshell interview with Snores the Jaded Elf.
I think, well, look, Brian, as a journalist, we did our best to hold his feet to the fire, to speak truth to power about these allegations that were made.
God, this is my favorite show we do every year. Hey, shall we move into a little bit of Diamond Time?
Indeed, Brian. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project right here on the show. Just head on over to reddit.com/r/Diamond Club or diamondclub.reddit.com. Big old sticky post at the top of the page is where you're going to find it. You can shout out your projects right there, and the top 3 will get read on the show. We begin with Handsome Billionaire. Hello, Diamond Club. I wanted to take a minute to pimp the Churn Out Pittsburgh. As most of you know, Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social is a friend of the show, and there's a significant cross-pollination between the two communities. Churn Out is the Hey Scoops community's crowd-funded project to bring Matt, Paul, and Jacob out to their local live events. Right now, Churn Out Pittsburgh is in pre-sale funding and has about halfway to go. The event is scheduled for Saturday, April 6th at the Strip District. If you're in the Berg or nearby and want to reserve your seat, please visit heyscoops.com/ballkicker for more information. That is heyscoops.com/ballkicker. See you soon.
Yeah, man. Fucking you in the face. Dude, these are good friends of the show, and hot damn, they're funny folks. And in a world where Night Attack is wanting very much to make it out on the road and do the exact same thing we're doing, hey, what say we support our extended family and make sure it happens. Even if you've never seen Ice Cream Social, get out there and buy some tickets so that you can, number one, there's no better way to get introduced to the show than showing up and watching them live, because they are funny fuckers. And then hopefully we get to follow in their footsteps. We're gonna ride them coattails, them ice cream covered coattails, all the way to the bank.
And I'll tell you what, look, if you're in the Pittsburgh area, I'm gonna tell you what, for the money that they are asking for, there ain't a better way to spend that cash and have a good time, man.
Yeah, dude. Meanwhile, Celeb23 says, or Celeb B23 says, hey all, Eisner Guy 1 from Twitch and the Diamond Club Discord. Got nothing to plug or promote. Just wanted to give a big shout out to Brian, Justin, Bryce, Bonnie, and the rest of the Night Attack crew. You've all provided me years of entertainment, and I just wanted to say thanks. Finally became a patron and tossed some money your way. Well worth it. Keep up the awesome work, Diamond Club. Thank you so very, very much, man. That means the world.
Sweet.
Thank you.
There you go.
Justin is muted because I think we were getting some noise.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Try again.
Thank you, Michael Eisner, and your very clever screen name.
Eisner guy won because somebody already Doug Eisner had beaten Michael Eisner to the punch.
Exactly. Discs of Tron writes, don't forget that Diamond Club Day is December 22nd. That is apparently on DCTVpedia.com/Diamond Club Day. You can get your awesome stickers from Turbo Cult. They also have a podcast, turbocult.com. I copied this from last week. That, of course, is TVRBOKVLT.
Hells yes.
Those guys are blowing it up. They're doing like a podcast and like daily videos now.
Dude, they do
awesome.
Really good work, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I just love the thought that we can inspire, so much great talent. Makes me very happy. Let's take a minute to think about movie drafts.
Here we go.
Welcome to your Mood Draft Minute presented by CosmicRadio.tv for the week of December 17th, 2018. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas. Miles Morales becomes the Spider-Man of his reality and crosses paths with his counterparts from other dimensions to stop a threat to all reality. Let's go check the scoreboard. Team John Tracker is in 6th place with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse bringing in $35.3 million in regular total to $89.8 million. Team Core Killers is in 5th place, $205.4 million. Team Nicole is in 4th place with Mortal Engines bringing in $7.5 million in regular total to $238.3 million. Team Justin is in 3rd place at $303.8 million. Team Brian is in 2nd place at $456.9 million. And in 1st place, $527.1 million. It's Team DTNS. And that is your Movie Time Minute for the week of December 17th, 2018.
Justin, this breaks my heart and also excites me for the game because Spider-Man is $35 million for the best Spider-Man movie that's ever come out. What is wrong with this world?
Look, despite the fact that he has a horrific track record in this competition, Cargill made a very, very, very good point on the show last week, and that is that people release movies in the week that just passed, not because they do gangbusters on that weekend, but because you are basically entering into a lot of free time for families, and then literally nothing of worth for the next month and a half. So the movies that come out now are going to have legs, and I would suspect that Into the Spider-Verse is going to be something that will continue to earn at a, crazy level. At least, like, if it drops more than 40%, then I would worry about it.
Well,
but if it holds steady, then I think it'll be good.
So let's say generously $50 million for its first week, and then let's say a modest maybe 20% drop. That's only $40 million, and then 20% off of that, like it's going to top out around 160 million total, which is a lot less than I was expecting for it.
But again, for whatever reason, those are just two great tastes that box office wise don't taste great together. That you can have $350 million animated movies, you can have $350 million superhero movies, but a animated superhero movie for whatever reason, and maybe Into the Spider-Verse changes that, and maybe the sequel does the crazy money, has not yet been that thing because traditionally superhero movies are at that PG-13 kind of level at their most popular, and animated movies are at PG to G.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know how spoilery we want to get, but it was remarkable to me that movie was able to be that good without ever veering into PG-13 territory. That was astonishing to me. That I was totally comfortable watching it with my 6-year-old and my 14-year-old, and then watching it again with my 11-year-old and 29-year-old wife. It was fantastic.
Here's all I'll say. There's no spoilers here. But I would encourage you to watch John Mulaney's interview on The Tonight Show. He describes being pulled into that movie. He plays Spider-Ham in Into the Spider-Verse. And apparently they called him and they're like, hey, look, we want you to be in a movie. It involves superheroes. We can't tell you anything. You just got to come down right now. And he's like, sure. So he does, and they're just feeding him lines. And if you have seen the movie now, you understand that he plays this very literally cartoony kind of character. But the initial readings of the lines, because they tell him, oh, no, just be you. He's just doing nothing but cursing throughout all of it. So there's these great lines that you hear in the movie, including one that's 2 days. I've been Spider-Man for 30 fucking years, but in John Mulaney's voice. That are just great. So if you've already seen the flick, go check it out. If you haven't seen the flick, go see the flick, man. It is dope.
Yeah, and man, does it ever play? It's got so much heart and manages to be funny, and it does a great job of cracking the fourth wall but never shattering it. You know, where it's like just like my favorite moment was when mild joke spoiler, I guess, is when Spider-Ham says that's all, folks, and then said just very quickly somebody's like, can you say that legally? And then, you know, it was amazing. Just so many great moments like that.
And also it's like the nerdiest comic book movie ever released.
Deep cuts. Well, and that's what's great is all the deep cuts play shallow as well, right? So, like, even if you've never seen the Spider-Man 1967 show or whatever, you might be familiar with
but beyond like specific references.
Yeah.
It's a mainstream movie that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make in the animation, because the animation is mind-blowing, that relies on a plot about multiple universes and multiple dimensions and different versions of this character that have existed in the most like minuscule of ways. You really have to be deep into the Spider-Man Wikipedia to even understand who half these characters are. A lot of them are newer characters, which is something that has not really made its way into the pop culture aesthetic. A lot of the characters that we even see now in the Marvel Universe were all invented in the 60s and 70s. But the people that you're seeing on screen there were invented in the aughts, which is really, really cool. So go see it.
There was one thing, and again, not a spoiler, I don't think. There was one sequence where I think Sony really shone and was able to flex its, because Sony's this multinational conglomerate or whatever. Like when there's that graffiti sequence, and they just do this mega mashup of like 20 years of badass hip hop music that I'm sure was a Daredevil-esque licensing feat that it takes somebody as connected as Sony to pull off. It was just so fun. I was just so all in. It's great.
150,000%. Go see that movie. Hey, Bryce.
Hi.
Do we have emails?
We do. Let's open the mailbag.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
The Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Sounds so grand. All right. Our first email comes in from Ryan Thomas. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan writes, I started dating someone a couple months ago, and I introduced her to Night Attack this past Tuesday while watching episode 251 live on Twitch, filling her in on who everyone was and all that. Oh, wait, hold on. For some reason, this is cut off. Filling her in on who everyone was, she pointed at Jury and stated, quote, I like his hair. You should grow your hair out like that. Never having long hair, I responded with, you think so? With her response of, quote, I would fuck the shit out of you every day if you had hair like that.
Well, first of all, Justin, I don't perceive that you have very long hair.
He's got medium-length hair for a man.
Okay, well, are you sure they weren't pointing at Bryce? No, you do have long hair. You have luxurious salt and pepper locks.
Yeah,
you know what? I would fuck the shit out of you, Bonnie, if you had hair like that.
He continues, I learned two things that night. One, Jury is apparently very fuckable. I love the politic use of the word apparently in that, too. And
thank you.
And two, I now have to grow out my hair. Dynafire Rhino from Columbia, Missouri.
I love stories like these because it makes me see my comedy partner in a new light.
10 years in, and you think of fucking him now?
Yeah. Let me just say this. As a man of 35, veering into 36 years of age, I will say that don't try this at home when it comes to my hairline, because it is not universal amongst people of my age, apparently. Like many of my friends have the front lines of their hairline war have been forced to fall back by the the ravages of their age. But yeah, grow it out. It looks good.
Man, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got.
No, come on, look, Brian. You were a man with a great hairline.
Well,
you were older than me. You too can appreciate looking at people your age and being like, fucking A, for whatever reason. Those genetic box got ticked, and I was in the winners column.
Yeah, congratulations. You do have a luxurious head of hair. All three of us. Welcome to In Your Face, Baldy, the podcast.
I'm
Bonnie's
just gonna
here,
say,
too.
not only that dude's girlfriend
Hello?
that just appreciates
Hey, Mr. 29, you want to remember your wife is
Miss 29 over here.
One step forward, two steps back. All right, this is from Guy. From Guy writes, so last week Brian asked if Christian porn exists, and the answer is obviously yes. But I'm writing to share something so much better and more niche. May I present to you From Porn? This is from FRUM. What is from porn, you may be asking? Well, from porn is porn made by or made to look like ultra-Orthodox Jews. That's right, we watch porn too. We love to see men and women who are or who look like the same people we see in our shtetls, usually dressed very modestly or sometimes modestly seductive, getting freaky. Although most people who enjoy from porn are or were at some point from, there are also a lot of people who live or work near these communities that are into it as well. Most from porn is not easily findable on the internet, so don't even try looking for it. It's shared mostly on apps like Telegram, WhatsApp, Kik, and until recently, Tumblr. Below, he's attached a link from Vice on the subject. He also says, be warned, they get a lot of things wrong. P.S. If Scoop of Faith gets to be your Christian correspondent, can I be your from correspondent?
Yes, congratulations, TIL. We have a from correspondent. That's fantastic. I guess that makes sense, right? Because the seeds of attraction begin with familiarity, right? It's not something nobody you've ever met that you first get a boner for. It's somebody you've met.
Let's just say that a friend of mine who's visited sites like Pornhub and been disturbed by how many I want to fuck my sister videos there are, would agree with your point that apparently people are, they look around them and find things they want to have sex with. Oh my good God.
Yeah, I would imagine in a community that is as I understand it as an outsider has fairly strict rules. That probably is all the hotter to see people being very naughty.
Well, and also it's like, look, the internet is about niches. It is about having your every whim catered to, and so yes. Orthodox people also like to jack it.
Well, and I guess there's no shortage of certainly. I mean, you're never more than 3 clicks away from somebody in a nun costume getting banged, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, no, totally.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. This is dead silence.
Listen, hey, it's 2018, Brian. Probably one Face ID.
Okay, we've got a
forget 3 clicks.
We've got a letter from.
I just want to know, on Saturday, do you have to have a goy come over and hit the play button?
Yeah, you have to have one of those birds that may or may not click the button on your behalf. You can't be the one to click it. You just gotta
fill one of those water like those the water birds.
Yes. And then finally it clicks, and you're like, yeah.
So you guys missed the best joke in the stream was full frontal porn.
Full frontal.
Frontal.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyways, I thought it was cute.
We got an email from Thomas here. Thomas writes, hi, Brian, Justin, and Neshcom. On the most recent episode, you guys were talking about stand-ups, and Justin mentioned one of my favorites, Richard Jenny. I loved Richard and thought he was one of the funniest guys ever. I liked him so much that when he committed suicide, I just stopped watching stand-up, and even now just kind of watch once in a while. But since Brian is such a fan of Preacher, he should know that Bill Hicks is actually in an issue of Preacher. He did a set, and Jesse Custer talked to him afterwards. And as far as the controversy around Dennis Leary stealing Bill's act, I also heard he stole it from Sam Kinison as well. But I think people see someone doing a similar actor style, and they just assume it was stolen. At least that's my thoughts on the subject. Anyway, keep up the great work on the show. Thomas from Missouri. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, guess what? The stealth advertisement in disguise. This was secretly an ad for patreon.com/nightattack, where you get the post show. We went for a long time last week.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, look, dude. Yeah, we talked about all that on the post show last week. Not only is Bill Hicks in a issue of Preacher, but effectively, Jesse Custer explained that his personality is an amalgam between Bill Hicks and John Wayne, who plays this kind of recurring, Jiminy Cricket kind of role for Jesse Custer in the comics. So Bill Hicks, very, very, very well represented as like Preacher in general is like an Irishman's love letter to everything that is great and terrible about Texas, and the brilliant and awful cultural elements that have kind of sprung out of it in equal measure.
We have one last letter here. Crazy Akak here was just curious to know how Ira Sockman was doing. Haven't seen him on the show in a bit. Happy holidays.
Oh man!
Anyone seen that guy? I'm sure it's not easy running a law firm.
Surely he showed up on Night Attack at some point. He's not wrapped up in legal entanglements.
The last I'd heard from, I was like BCC'd or CC'd on something with Ira, but yeah, no, he's obviously a very busy lawyer. Really, we don't have, as an independent podcast, we don't have the deep pockets like Twit had to hire an attorney with the caliber of Ira Sockman to come look over. And also, it's like that was the reason why he came on the show, was because he was our handler.
Right.
He was there to make sure that we didn't go too far, because in our second episode on the network, we almost had a teenager choke to death on Gatorade.
Yeah, that was problematic.
So,
is he watching right now in the audience?
Ira Sockman?
No. Oh, maybe I'd like to believe Ira Sockman.
We're looking at the same moon, Ira Sockman and I. That's our.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the post show. Ira. I can give him a call. We can see if Ira will show up in the post show.
Oh, that's great. If you guys have an email question, comment, response to anything from the show, pre-show, post-show, or the show itself, mail@nightattack.tv is the email address. Can I get a plug-in before we?
Hells yeah! You install whatever you want. It's you've got the run of the browser.
Yeah, I'm clicking accept.
Okay,
Download the plugin.
I have a new podcast coming out in less than a week from today called Trending Lemon, and Brian is on is on an episode. Justin's on an episode. There are a lot of episodes coming out next week, so that there's a bunch there. You can pre-subscribe now at trendinglemon.com. It's an interview show. We take quizzes together, and we use that to talk to each other and about each other. It's really great, and I'm really excited for it. So please, if you don't mind, you can pre-subscribe now. Go to trendinglemon.com for all the links.
For what it's worth, there was recently a Darknet Diaries episode talking about chart busting, about everybody subscribing and about stuff hitting the top of the Apple charts, and it was interesting. He didn't touch on this, but obviously we're no strangers to coordinated purchases and subscribes at the same time, but it was really shocking to him. Specifically because the clout associated with the Apple podcast charts is disproportionate to the number of people actually using the podcast app. He didn't get into this, but like in a world where most people do any of you guys use the Apple Podcasts app, or we all use something else, right?
I don't use the Apple Podcast app. I use Overcast, which I think mirrors the Apple charts or the Apple directory.
Right.
But I don't use the Apple app.
So exactly. And because none of us use the app, anything we subscribe to doesn't show up. They have no way of knowing on your podcatcher app. The only thing they know is when you're using iTunes or the podcast app. Mm-hmm. So as a result, it's a soft target. So yes, everybody subscribe, but specifically, let's fire up that creaky old beast iTunes
up
and make sure that that we subscribe on iTunes or on the podcast app on your phone, regardless of whether that's your preferred way to do or not. Because it sounds like as few as 50 subs in a day gets you in the top 50 overall, because it's only most recent subscriptions. So I would say in the if you're listening in the 24 hours after, or starting now, or in the 24 hours after this, let's get this thing on that trending list. Let's all subscribe right this minute.
Thank you very much.
Again, just listen to and go big shout out to Jack Resider and the Darknet Diaries. Also listen to him. Subscribe if you want, but really subscribe to us, because we're telling you about it. And look, 50 a day. That's it. We don't have a billion listeners. but we got something that could string a couple of 50 a days together. I'll tell you what.
Agent Scientist trying to drop science on us, man. Don't drop science on us. We're kings of this stuff. He's saying that subs don't mean shit. It's downloads. Nope, it's subs.
iTunes.
They only count the subs.
So they were saying
New
subs plus like 3 or 4 downloads. So if you sub and then like just hit the download button on 3 episodes, that's the max. That's that's their algorithm's version of
you're a real
love
person.
This thing,
right? Yeah.
Award it and let it rise. So I would say, when does everything come out for Trending Lemon?
Well, I'll tell you this. By this point next week on Christmas, there will be 3 episodes out.
Shoot, do we want to tell everyone to hold save your powder for next week?
I say go for it. I say let's do it now.
Okay. All right.
If you're hearing this, please one more time. Trending Lemon.
And if I'll tell you, would it be safe to say that if Bryce, you saw your stock rising, that maybe you might
eat a live scorpion
again?
You might shoot these episodes early.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few in the bank. I wouldn't mind putting even more out early if it just happens to be a kind of a firecracker. So
trend that lemon, bitches.
Trend that lemon.
Thank you guys.
Hot damn, man. We played with fire. We were some Icarus looking motherfuckers. But we stuck it.
Post show. If you don't listen to the post show, this is the post show to listen to. Because I'll tell you what, Brian and I have been fucking Bing Crosby and Bob Hope throughout a lot of wacky fucking people. We have not been ourselves. Normally we're meta. Normally we explain about what's going on. We have not. It is all going to burst loose as soon as this post show happens. So please go download it. But we're out of time for now. Brian, is there anything that we've learned tonight?
Yeah, man, we learned that there's a bit boss, and his name is Your Man Jeff 1 with 1,013 bits. Thank you so much, Your Man Jeff. Kudos and a tip of the hat to JK206, JKing206 with 800, and Badweave with 500. Thank you guys so very much. We love it when you gamble.
Well, I think that we've learned that you have a very mentally tough, funny eldest daughter.
Yeah, man. I think we learned that I'm going to need a lot of money for therapy for a long time.
We learned that Santa's a pussy.
We've also learned that he's 500 pounds of muscle and once punched a reindeer to death.
But mostly we've learned that we would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas from all of us here at Night Attack to you and yours. See you next Tuesday.
Die in a fire. A Yule log fire.
Night Attack. Night Attack. Night Attack. Night Attack. Night Attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.